it for the Sitka High Jazz Band, Mr. Gary Foster. Standard song and one very much part of the jazz repertoire. We've heard a lot of jazz standards here this evening. I've been interested to listen to the repertoire of the vocal group and the other big band that played. The minute they played the introduction on their last song, I knew it was going to be Jumping at the Woodside, because I remember playing that arrangement many years ago myself. This is a piece called Tonito. It's a Latin and jazz piece combined, composed for me by a friend of mine named Stuart Fisher. Next is a piece composed by a man named Bob Haggart, who a few years ago had a group called the World's Greatest Jazz Band. He wrote a number of songs that are jazz standards. His most well-known song is a ballad, a Second World War ballad called What's New. This is one that's a little bit more obscure. It's written especially for the clarinet, and this was written for a clarinetist who was an influential person on Benny Goodman and a number of the other famous clarinetists of the big band era. This clarinet player's name was Irving Fazzola, not a person who's very well known, but this was his famous solo, and it's called Gone But Not Forgotten. jazz musicians' favorite songs to play. I think that many of you will be familiar with this one. It's quite possibly the most recorded song. Coleman Hawkins, a great jazz saxophonist from the 30s and the 40s, made a recording of this that to this day is a model for how to play the song. It's called Body and Soul. It's written by a man named Johnny Green in about 1939. And this arrangement was written by Tommy Newsom, who, if you're old enough to remember, used to conduct the Tonight Show Orchestra with Doc Sevens a few years ago. So here's Tommy's arrangement of Body and Soul. Brad mentioned that this was the third year that you had a guest. I don't think he told this audience, but he mentioned to some people this morning that we met at a summer jazz institute at Port Townsend, Washington, a couple of years ago. And last August, Brad phoned me and asked me if I could come here on this date. And we talked about it then. I said I could come. We exchanged some letters and phone calls and decided on the music that we would play about Thanksgiving. And these arrangements that we play are ones that are in my library, so I sent them up. And the band began to work on them, I think, right after Christmas. And of course, they have a very heavy schedule going to the Jazz Festival in Idaho next week. And I never know, quite frankly, until I get where I'm going, how it's going to be, whether it's will be well prepared. And I must tell you, this has been a thrill for me to be here. I mean, to have a chance to work with Brad and to see the kind of dedication that goes on here. And the students, I said earlier, being out at 7 o'clock this morning, I think that takes a special effort. And I just felt that the superior attitude, and then of course this absolutely superior accomplishment. I can't imagine how proud you must be of all these young people. And we also have to thank you for being here this evening. I mean, the mere presence of parents and friends in the community, and to come and validate all of this tremendous effort to put this concert on. I mean, it doesn't mean anything unless you're here to see us all through. So thank you very much for that. Thanks to all my new friends here and to Brad for inviting me. Our last piece is Cole Porter. It's called "You'd Be So Nice to Come Home To."
Just a couple more words. I wonder how scary it is sitting in California, getting ready to come to an island in Alaska, not knowing what it's going to be like. It takes a little bit of courage, I think. Would you give Mr. Foster a tremendous hand?